Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first syndicated show of Too Much to Handle. I am Billy the Kid. I am with the mighty AO, and we are recording live in the U.S. state with the most forest fires of any, live here in California. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, at least we're in San Diego, and it's up north right now.
Yeah, there's still some here that are pretty close to the county. You know, Riverside. There's a couple in San Diego. It's pretty rough out there. Like I've been driving through L.A. to San Diego and back, and man, you can see some pretty intense fires from most of the highways.
Yeah, I lived off the 91 in Corona, and I remember it was pretty much the fire were on the freeways going over the cars. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah, there's one in Corona. There's one in Lake Elsinore, Rancho Santa Margarita. They're all over the place.
It's
crazy.
interesting how it happens every year. I'm surprised. It's obviously the dried out season that makes it happen, and then it's hot.
It's insanely hot right now.
Yeah, it was over 100 degrees today.
Let's not bum out on that. Just for all of you who haven't heard us before, we have been recording podcasts. This is our first syndicated show, so to give a little history on the mighty AO and I, we go back about 20 years. We were bartenders back in the day.
20 years.
I know, crazy. And our show is predicated around just shooting from the hip, two different opinions on the same topic, but we shoot straight. And,
yeah, we always kind of bantered when we're out there having a couple drinks, and kind of we're bringing the drinks over to the mic now, and it's kind of cool. In the 20 years that we haven't even seen each other, I just moved back down to the San Diego area with a lot of hopes and dreams.
Oh, like everyone else who comes to California.
This ain't L.A. hopes and dreams. No, but San Diego's just amazing right now. I've been snorkeling. I've been doing a lot more stuff. I was down here. Remember, like obviously I said with bartending, but I was also in the military, serving our country. Yeah.
Yes, and kudos to you. I have the utmost respect.
You see my awards over there?
People. There are
Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, and yes. To all the military listeners out there, they will appreciate that. And I was only enlisted for 3 years, and I received. That's an admiral that had to sign off on that type of.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Got a lot of friends that are in the Navy. I've got a couple senior chief and master chiefs that are friends of mine. So I understand. You know,
it's very prideful. It's a good mix of people.
Understand the merit.
Yeah.
So that being said, you're going to hear a lot of shit that we talk about, that things that you think about but don't necessarily want to say in public or with certain company. We're gonna say all those things. And
he's gonna say it. I'm gonna say, hey Billy, take it easy, Holmes. You know. So.
Yeah, that's probably a better assumption. I'm gonna say I shoot. I'm a little more knee jerk and
just like his shot, just like his shots on the basketball court.
Oh, don't get me started. You know I'm gonna smoke you in hoops. For those of you who don't know, we have an ongoing competition where he thinks he's going to take me out on the court, and we're going to show him what time it is here.
I think we have a bet going on. I don't know if
we do have a bet, and I think we're gonna have to record it live and let
I
our
remember
viewers.
It was going to be a fundraiser of some sort.
Well, it's definitely going to be for charity, but I think you and I are going to start with a free throw contest. Is going to be the first one, and then go to a 3-point line contest.
You got me. Anything that's standing still, I got to imagine.
Oh, that's fine. We'll play 1-on-1 as well. This is just the build up. We're going to start there and work our way up to 1-on-1, and we'll play hustle 21. Old school.
Hey, Billy said he was a runner too back in his days.
I did run a couple half marathons. I don't know if that constitutes being called a runner, just because
if you ran a marathon, that's pretty amazing. Because you're dating us. If you say we've been friends for 20 years, I guess what I'm trying to get at is we're in our 40s or something like that.
Yeah, something like early. I think our spectrum goes from the early to the late portion of the 40s.
So we also want to talk about men's issues, dating, what's kind of
absolutely
what we like out there in the scene, and hopefully bring a good, fresh male's perspective.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot out our email addresses on these things too, because we want to hear from you guys.
Oh yeah,
and we will cover topics that you guys have that you think we should talk about, and that. Without question, we will definitely cover.
So what do you think about our name? Too Much to Handle.
I think the name's great.
Yeah.
I think it pretty much covers what we're trying to, what we're trying to accomplish.
Hopefully, yeah, that's what they're going to. I hope the ladies say, man, those guys are too much to handle.
Well, I think after hearing me, for sure, they'll say. Anyway, Well, since it's been a week or two since we've recorded,
Yeah,
how
let's
you
catch
been?
up.
How you been?
Yeah, I've been great. It's sad to say right off the bat. I actually, like I said, and I don't mind sharing.
You can share.
I just got, like I said, just moved down here, and I met someone really cool, and I felt this is my most mature relationship in a long time, and I stayed honest, and it didn't totally work out, but I feel like a weight is lifted on my shoulder because I felt like I did everything right, and I gave it a good go, and I'm just a scared mofo. That's all.
Well, like I was telling you in previous podcasts, like I always go back to what my mom said to me back when I was in my 20s, like just date them all, and when you find the right one, you're gonna know. And I'm sure everyone listening, like when you find the right one. And for some guys, you don't find them until you're in your 40s, and I didn't until I was almost 40.
Oh, okay. See,
So
I
there's
got
no
nothing to
shame
worry
in
about.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. There's sites for people in their 50s. Shit goes
Yeah, you
wrong
told me
when you
about
get
your-
married early, and
You said your dad met.
yeah, my dad was on eHarmony and met his current wife, but like sometimes people are married for a while and then boom, shit goes wrong and they get divorced and then they get lonely. So,
But the society is so addictive to what's like next. Like today, let's say she's not happy, she could just boom be looking for someone right away, and we're just very instant gratification type.
yeah, that's a good analogy. That's
So,
true.
but besides that,
So
that
other
happened,
than that, so you were let's go back again a little bit. AO is one of those dating site people, kind of, right?
yeah, I
And
was on Match.
Met a gal,
But
and
I
I gave
but
him shit for a long time about him committing to her because he was talking about how cool she was. But you just never know until you get to know someone if they're the one to be with, right?
Yeah,
Elaborate.
definitely. So I am on Match, but I hid my profile. Like I said, I was doing all the legitimate things that you should do in a relationship, and I was monogamous, and so no, I just knew it wasn't right. So I didn't want to hold her back, and I didn't want to hold myself back, and I didn't want to lie. So
Well, you know what? Kudos to you for breaking it off as a gentleman.
I even gave
there's
her
a-
a birthday present. I gave her a massage for her birthday's coming up.
Hey, no one here is questioning, and as more people listen to us, they'll realize you are a genuine good guy, and as much as even though you're single at 42 and still looking, the thing that I was thinking about this, but you've had a professional career for so long, and you're so dedicated to your work, whether it be the podcast or all the other endeavors in your life. I can see how that could take time away from and then moving around and stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I don't realize how much I work and how much I go throughout the day and don't even realize it. I can imagine having the kids, taking kids.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine that.
Yeah, I'm on the other end of the
I
spectrum.
can't even take a dog, care for a dog.
Well, I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I have the wife, the daughter, the dog. Like I have all that shit going for me. So
You got a dog?
That's why we always have two ends of. No matter what the topic is, we have two different views.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway,
Besides that, I feel good about. I went to 311 concert. I know you went to a concert, and I had probably about a good 10 friends that came and visited from the Redlands, Corona area, from where I grew up, and just had a great time.
So you saw your most favorite band, 311.
Yeah.
Oh God, it makes my skin crawl.
I know.
I can't stand them.
I think I invited. I said, Billy, I'll buy you a ticket. He's all, fuck, I wouldn't even go to that. I was like, damn, you're
He offered me a ticket, then he offered me a free ticket, and he pretty much almost said, "Fuck, dude, I'll pay for your drinks all night." And I was still like, "Nope, not doing it. I am not going to subject myself to that kind of torture."
You had no idea how great it was. The ladies were dancing.
I'm sure you had a good time. I know you did. You're glowing right now. You had such a good time. However, when he was at that concert, I actually had flown to Denver with my girls, and we went and saw Weezer in Denver at Fiddler's Green, which fucking awesome venue. The Pixies opened up for them. They were garbage. They should have never got back together. They should have never got back
Why
together.
you say that? People
Because I was
like
a
them.
big Pixies fan, bro.
Really?
And
Yeah,
they
I
sounded like shit.
They did?
Okay, check this out. There was one point in a song, I can't remember which song it was, but halfway through a song, Frank Black just like gave up, put his guitar down, and was like, grabbed the mic and was like, guys, I'm sorry. I just kind of drifted off during that song. I lost where I'm
Shut
at.
the
He's
fuck
like,
up.
totally. And he was like, can we just forget this? Let's just forget this happened and we'll pick up, with the next song. And people were pissed because they were like, there were some diehard Pixie fans there that were like, no, fuck you. Finish this song.
Yeah.
Like,
Was
you're
it a
not
good
even
song,
halfway
too?
through it. I can't even remember what song it was. I'm a Pixie fan, but not like these people.
I have never seen that live.
I
like,
know
where,
like
why wouldn't they
5
finish
or
the song?
6 Pixie songs that I really dig, and it wasn't one of those, so it had to be like a real Pixie fan. But they were bummed. So anyway, so they picked up the next song and kept playing, and I was just like, God, like I can't even imagine one of my bands doing that.
Imagine.
Like, oh, sorry, I suck.
Because I want to. I told you that's another aspiration that I have. I'm trying to. I was in a cover band for 5.5 years, and it's probably been a good year since I've been in a band. So I just want to get the acoustic nights, pick out some new songs. It's a whole new vibe down here. It's all like we talked about. It's reggae.
San Diego's different for music now. It's not like the '90s when I worked in live punk rock bars here in San Diego.
Yeah.
Like there was a shit ton of bands, but there was a shit ton of venues too. There's just not the same kind of venues here anymore, and just the vibe's kind of gone.
It is, but it has its cool spots. There's a lot more areas. Even East County is a little bit more cooler than it ever was. North Park, Normal Heights, PB still has a decent, strong scene. That they're even going to Mission Beach, OB.
Yeah, but it's always like
It's live music. They
local stuff. It's not.
It is. It is. I know.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with local stuff. Maybe I misspoke there. I
But
think what I'm
you-
saying is
you
like
don't
there
know.
used to
You
be
go
better
home every-
venues that were smaller venues that you could get semi big acts in that would play, and it
I
was
like
just
the
so
Verizon.
intimate.
Oh yeah.
No, but I'm talking about like the Casbah, and back in the day I worked at Velvet, and before and after that I worked at a place called the Boiler Room on 30th and Adams. I'm sure any of those of you listening who are old school San Diego people know the Boiler Room. That was the shit. But it's just we don't have that same vibe anymore.
don't have that.
It was kind of like when Seattle was popping, we were popping.
San Diego downtown. There's some spots. Do you venture still as much? I know you go. Little Italy still.
Little Italy, yeah, but I downtown San Diego is just ugh.
Yeah, I
It's
know
just so
it is.
douchey. It's just douchebags everywhere.
What's your little go-to during the week? Because Billy works a bar in San Diego still, like he mentioned, the Boiler Room, and I think it's still fun if I could be pouring drinks and conversating with
I do.
all
I
the
do it once or twice a week. It's my little getaway. I still work at the Alibi up in Hillcrest on University. Old school dive bar. Been there
It's-
since 1936. But it's not the first dive bar I worked. I worked the waterfront for 10 years.
Yeah,
They've
that's
been
where
there
we worked
since
together.
Prohibition. Yeah, it's where we worked together. I've tended I tended bar for 25 years in this town. So I don't know. Downtown is just weird to me. Anyway, so get back to what we were talking about. I was in Denver and we went and saw Weezer, and they were fucking great.
Oh, Weezer was good.
They were. I've seen them a million times, and they were awesome. They set up the stage like they did for the Buddy Holly video. One of the first releases they came out with, and they
I
killed
think
it.
they're playing tonight in down Chula Vista, right?
No, they're actually playing on Saturday the 11th in Chula Vista at Mattress Firm, because I'll be there in a box with my wife and daughter and some friends and nieces and shit. So
Nice.
yeah, we're gonna go see them again.
I might be heading.
Really?
Yeah.
You might go to that one.
Mhm.
I might have an extra ticket.
Okay.
Okay.
I was a couple of friends were talking about going to lawn ticket. My old bassist that went down there, but
All you got to do is come to my house. I got a limo that's taking us down there.
yeah, that'd be cool.
So if you want to roll,
Yeah, if you have an extra ticket.
yeah, I'll confirm that later.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, so that genre, that's what 90s alternative rock right there.
Totally.
And I'm surprised that you like Weezer because Billy's a Slayer.
Yeah, Slayer and Black Sabbath would be my two favorite things of all time. But I've always been an open mind to music. Like I love outlaw country. I love hip hop. I did a lot. I grew up with a lot of hip hop. I think I just like the extremes of each kind of music. I think is what my thing's been. You know what I mean?
Even the
like
hip-hop,
I've never
huh?
been into the mainstreamy poppy stuff,
Yeah, you're like
and that's fine. But
it's like the punk rock of everything.
I always like the underground hardcore shit on most stuff. Like I listened to New York hardcore for a long time. Sick of It All is another favorite band of mine.
I don't even know who they are, but they must be sick of it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of kind of explained how I was when I was in my late 20s too. But anyway, yeah, that's another thing. We're gonna talk about a lot about music. So again, that's another topic that I'd love to hear from you guys.
Billy's out from Milwaukee, right?
Yep, I am a Milwaukee, Wisconsin native. I moved out here in '89 when I was just a little 18-year-old fledgling, and here I am, almost 30 years later.
Yeah. San Diego's been good to you.
San Diego's been great to me.
And you said you don't want to leave.
I don't see me ever leaving San Diego. It is kind of depressing seeing the incorporation of the city since when I first moved here.
What do you mean by that? They're doing some cool, interesting stuff right now. It's all very political about what's going to happen with this Qualcomm area that they're going to build out. There's like several agendas with the state colleges, a soccer deal, and and they're writing the legal form, and it's on TV every day. And it's obviously who has the most money that's going to gain from
naming rights and shit. Yeah, I think what I'm referring to is just the influx in population. I mean, San Diego. When I moved here in '89, it was a chill. San Diego was beautiful, chill. There was hardly any traffic.
But downtown was ugly. It was very ghetto.
Yeah, and then I liked it. I liked it when it was ghetto. Yeah. I mean, they've cleaned it up, and hooray! But I don't know.
They're building very everywhere. I'm surprised. I could live out here. I can even go down south. Before, I never thought of myself going past the 8. But I think I can do like some of that Normal Heights area.
Oh, there's a lot of when I worked at the Boiler Room, like Normal Heights is fucking great. There's great places to live.
I went to Ponce, that Mexican restaurant.
Ponce's? Oh yeah, Ponce's is great. I used to hang out at the Ken Club back in my mid to late 20s, early 30s. I
went to the Wild Rabbits or something.
Rabbit Hole.
Rabbit Hole, yeah.
Yeah, Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole, I went once and I found out it was a Packer bar, so I was pretty stoked on that. So.
A what?
A Packer bar.
Oh,
Green Bay Packer bar.
People.
Yeah, you know those 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers.
That's why I asked where he lived, because he's going to reference when we talk about basketball. His Bucks.
I'm going to reference the Bucks. I'm going to reference the Brewers, and most of all, I'm going to reference my beloved green and gold Green Bay Packers. So
yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Get used to hearing that.
No, I can't hate. I remember you're a true fan, and that's what matters. You and your buddies get together for
every game.
It's
absolutely
crazy.
We all go to games together a couple times a year as well.
Even your bros that you still back a bar, you guys have your own little man's trip. This is cool shit that you guys do.
Oh yeah, we're planning our next trip. We're deciding between. We're trying to double it up. We're thinking about going to Minnesota to the new stadium and going to a Sunday game there against the Cardinals, and then driving straight to Green Bay and going to a Monday night game with the Packers and the Niners. So yeah, that's still in the mix. Yeah, that might happen.
They're all happy. Yeah, Billy took us back to Milwaukee, and I was like, dang.
Well, I took him to my stepdad's house in Milwaukee, and they skinned a deer. We ate deer meat fresh off the bone on a grill.
You know how to do this stuff.
Oh, I grew up doing it.
I grew up doing this.
So I knew I knew that the 4 of us from my bar were flying home, and my stepdad told me like, I'm gonna go deer hunting for a little bit before you guys get here. And I'm like, dude, if you shoot something, gut it, but leave it hanging. I'm gonna bring these 3 city folk with me, and we're gonna skin it. And then we'll chow down. And he was like, "Oh, perfect."
What do you mean? You skin something? You can skin a whole. You know the whole organs of a.
No, that's gutting it.
Okay.
First you gut it. You have to gut it right away because if you don't gut it right away, the meat will rot. So you gut it right away, get all the internal organs out.
So you know how to gut it.
Yeah.
You're a murderer. What do you mean?
A murderer? How am I a murderer?
I'm just joking.
Do you understand what the deer population is like in Wisconsin? They're not almost. They are considered a pest now, pretty much.
Oh wow!
They destroy crops, and the deer tags have multiplied every year because they want people to.
So that's your sport
but
out
there. But the cool thing is
that
but everyone eats them though. They don't just kill them and leave them. Everyone eats venison. So
deer's is good.
It's delicious. Absolutely,
it's better than beef.
Oh, it's way leaner than beef.
Tastes good.
It's an acquired taste. It's not rough. I mean, it's lean. It's got a hint of gamey to it, but it's just because deer aren't fed the same shit that the cattle we eat are. You know what I mean? You know, when you eat steak, it's from a cattle farm where they're eating, you know.
What does gamey mean? Gamey.
Well, you know, the difference, what I always use as a difference is like when you eat white meat and you eat dark meat. Dark meat's always a little more gamey. You know what I mean?
That's a good analogy. And
It is. Have you ever eaten rabbit? Have you ever eaten squirrel? Have you ever eaten pheasant? Have you ever eaten...
No.
Have you ever had deer? Have you ever had bear?
No.
See, I grew up eating all this shit in Wisconsin, so
Did you
it's
know
no news to me.
I heard kind of your brain doesn't grow as fast if you eat that stuff. So I don't know. Does that you notice any correlation?
Okay, I'm going to judge by the stupid look on your face right now that is complete bullshit. Complete bullshit.
No, I was just seeing if you noticed any
Well, getting back to what we were saying, like, so I told my stepdad, if you get something, gut it, leave it hanging. And, you know, when we get there, I'm going to surprise these guys. Because I went out there with 3 guys that are from California, and they
they look up to you. They look up to you, too.
So we got out there, we got to the house, and my stepdad gave me the nod, like, yeah, there's one hanging in the garage. So I was like,
how long in are you in before you, like, hey, guys, let's go do this?
It was like 20 minutes after we got there. I'm like, hey, guys, give me a hand in the garage. So I opened the garage door on the side and turned the light on. And they were like...
I would be so pissed right off the bat.
They were tripping. No, you should have seen it. And I hate to use the analogy deer and headlights, but that's what they all look like.
I would be, what the fuck are you bringing in?
They were like, what the fuck?
This is why people have
No,
metal.
but they were totally intrigued. So we sat there, and honestly, one of the guys that I work with used to be a butcher at a Whole Foods. No. So he was all about it.
Who's this?
Mick. So he was like, fuck yeah, give me a knife. I'll help skin it. So we skinned it, and then we cut out the inner loins inside the rib cage, and then the rest of the loins. And my stepdad sliced them up. We put them on a Weber grill with butter. And
shut the fuck up right there.
Right there. They were still warm when we put them on the grill.
Wow.
Ate them with raw onions. It was delicious.
Really?
And then he had venison brats ready for us. He actually had T-bone steaks ready for us too. So we barbecued up, had a total man feast. My buddies, these guys have never experienced this. And then because my stepdad's house is on a river, we got to shoot guns and shotguns and rifles, and they were in heaven, bro.
Interesting.
They were in heaven. I gave them a little taste of Wisconsin. That's what I gave them.
If I go back there, please still make me do that.
I didn't make anyone do anything.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to do it. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to shock you with a dead deer hanging in the garage if you don't want me to.
Hey, check this out. So
then don't come home with me in September.
Okay. I'm going out to Michigan, and maybe do a little. But being 20 years that we've been friends, I wanted to maybe. You catch up a little bit in between. Like I said, I've been gone. I left San Diego around 29. I came back at 40. So it's been about 10 to 12 years.
Well, we kept in touch. We still.
But tell me what you did in between. My buddy Billy was on a show. That's pretty cool. And let's plug that, and then I'm going to plug another friend that hopefully will, because we're going to talk about potential.
Well, we have a bunch of guests lined up for the show as well. We have a bunch of people that are. Work in the music industry, work in the UFC industry, people that work in television and movie industry. We have a famous actress. We have a lot of people that are going to be in the show. We also have another guy that was on a television show that I did. I am Billy the Kid. I was on the Discovery Channel Devil's Ride for 3 years. So I got a little taste of the limelight.
What was the Devil Ride? I thought it was a reality spin-off of Sons of Anarchy. And I have another friend that was like an extra that was on that show for several years in the mechanic shop.
We were kind of we were the reality version of Sons of Anarchy. Yeah. So it was about a motorcycle club I was in with a group of guys, and so we did that, and so that got me a little taste of, I got to see the production side of things.
Yeah.
So it got me interested in radio and podcasting and stuff.
What do you mean the production side? What was production about it like?
Well, because every day you were behind a camera. It's reality TV. There were no scripts. There were no lines. They just put us in situations, and we had to react. So, it was just.
How'd you feel about that? Like,
it made a lot of people anxious because we had to. A lot of people got beat up, and a lot of people got bruised and bloodied, and it was motorcycle club life in San Diego. So, we had a lot of gnarly dudes on our show, and a lot of guys that weren't so gnarly, so they got tuned up.
Yeah, and I had to. My job was to come back and say, Billy, how not to be gnarly. Just to show him the right way of life.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for guiding me.
Because me, I like to listen to. I wake up and fall asleep to a lot of books that are. I envisioned in this podcast. It was funny because we talked about before I moved down here officially, what we wanted to do, because I don't know, we always kind of had fun, and this is our way of kind of getting out and enjoying a cocktail.
Well, for sure.
Cool.
I mean,
that's cool. So you got to be on this show. We bartended together. I have some music aspirations. We're gonna have some guests.
yeah. Throughout the years, AO and I have met a lot of interesting, crazy people. A lot of it, I'm not gonna lie. Like I met a lot of people through
Even
my
the bar
bartending
industry,
experiences.
yeah.
Like anywhere from Supreme Court judges to like cartel drug dealers. Like I've met them all. I've met a little bit of everybody. So we're going to try to bring a little behind the scenes approach on this show about as much as we can, especially in the music and entertainment business. We've got a lot of friends that currently work for big name acts or big name fighters and all kinds of that shit. So
And not only that, I think we want to. We like to pick some random topics. We're going to probably talk about some things. I remember we were talking about a story about how some boy got mauled by this grizzly bear one year, and then
the following year he got fucking attacked by a shark or something, and lived to tell both. Yeah. We're definitely gonna cover the odder side of news, just shit that we hear that I think we need to talk about. I've got a couple stories that we're going to talk about later that are fucking crazy. Like, I can't believe.
It's like, what the fuck? What's going on?
Absolutely. In fact, tonight's second segment, we will cover some crazy news stories that are both hilarious and we want your feedback on.
And we'll talk about we love the USC. We love sports. We love Lakers. No, I love Lakers.
No, we don't love the Lakers. Speaking of Lakers, LeBron.
We love Kobe.
We're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to touch on your feelings on LeBron coming to LA in the second half tonight.
Also, you're gonna have to before we take our little break for a halfway segment. You're gonna have to give a shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah. I'll definitely. I'll begin it with a sponsor
and we
shout.
might as well plug in a little Gabe also. We have helping us out, making sure that we're styling and dialing.
Yes. Aside from AO and I, our show producer is Gabe, and we're gonna have him on the show eventually.
Oh yeah.
I think maybe like
didn't
six
you
or seven
say
shows down, just so he can. We'll let him give an honest approach on how big of pains in the ass we are to get him to do shit for us.
Yeah.
I think
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we could put him on the hot seat and Q&A him, like, who's the bigger pain in the ass? Like, who's made you laugh the most?
Oh, that'd be
who's
good.
pissed you off the most? I think that'd be kind of good.
What's cool about it, when I saw Gabe, I think he's 22 years old. He told me he did this film type thing that was in Cannes. And he has a rose tattoo, just like me, on the other opposite side. And then you said that he reminds you of him when he was younger. So I was like, this kid would be perfect for what we're trying to do. And I think since we got down here, another thing that's taken up our time, we're going to get back in health, but I'm going to try to convince Billy to get into jiu-jitsu. What do you think about that, Billy?
I think you can keep trying all you want, and we'll see where that goes. I think once I punk you on the basketball court, you might think twice about getting me in even better shape. Anyway, okay, let's give a break right here. I first want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Deco Lighting. If you have any LED lighting issues for any commercial property, give a shout out to Deco Lighting. Okay, folks, give us just a second. We'll be back in just a few moments.
All right.
Hey, welcome back, everyone, and welcome back to the number uno first syndicated Too Much to Handle.
To be released.
That's right. This is Billy the Kid. I'm back with the Mighty AO. How you doing, my man?
Doing good. It was we had a good little break. Yeah. We were. I think we had a good first little first half, and we're having a website come out done pretty soon. We should have our links for Facebook up. We will have an Instagram. I think.
Yeah, I think we're going to have every social media plateau covered soon.
Oh yeah, iTunes.
On the I know on both the Facebook and the website, we're going to have merchandise eventually, so you guys can gather up on some pretty cool Too Much to Handle shirts and hats.
Do you have your email? Do you know your email?
I do have my email. I'd have to look at it again because
I think it's Anthony at 2M2H podcasts .com.
Yeah, that's yours, and mine is Billy at 2M2Hpodcast.com. So feel free to email us, especially if you have stuff you want us to discuss.
Yeah, if you hear anything interesting that we're saying that's relative to the bar scene, the music, the UFC, doing something positive. Like, I was actually thinking during the break right now, this is our first segment. Why are we doing this podcast? I have a friend down in San Diego is doing a super positive. It started off Joe Rogan's show. He was a spinoff. He was on there, and there was this amazing military gentleman called Jocko. And
Jocko's amazing.
I'm going to. That's where I got down here, and I'm trying to become a better person through the discipline. Like I said, I was in the military also, and he's just very. He hacks life, and he's sharing it. And then my best friend Echo. He's
his partner on the show, and Echo is another amazing cat. Like, the guy is solid as they come. Yeah, he's
the
awesome.
most
I mean, they have the most. I mean, the Jocko podcast. I mean, they have the most two solid fucking dudes ever with Jocko and Echo. Like, you can't beat that. We can. I mean, they're kind of an inspiration to us. I'm not gonna lie. They're definitely more on the path of self-righteousness, where we are on the path of. Fucking, dumb shitism, but
not dumb. But we have the 6 degrees of separation of awesome people that surround it. So, but that inspires us, and hopefully, with our social media platform, with Gabe doing some cool stuff, I just like some of the cool editing he does. So hopefully, we'll get Echo on here.
We have. I'm sure we'll have Echo as a guest. I can only strive one day to have Jocko as a guest. Maybe down the road. But we do have some very interesting guests coming up in the very near future, so stay tuned for that. People that have insight that on shit you would not even believe. And like what Anthony was saying earlier with the 6 degrees of separation, we've been around the block a lot. And from tending bar and working in that industry for so long, we met a lot of people. And this podcast is kind of for those people.
It's relationships.
Yeah, we've made relationships with really cool people along the way, and we just want to share our opinions on stuff and share their opinions on stuff, and all the guests we're gonna have on the show we've met along the way.
Funny.
So yeah, we have a really good lineup coming up. So anyway,
so you'll have our emails, and they can email.
Feel free to email us now.
Oh, I'm curious about what they were going to say about the 2 topics that we have to say. Let's start off by that story you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. So check this out. So I heard on the radio first, and then I had to follow up on this one because it was crazy to me. But they're in Germany.
Where'd you hear this on the radio?
I heard it on DSC on KGB, which is my favorite morning radio show here in San Diego.
So you do a radio show?
Yeah, well,
they're
they're back on KGB. They were on 100.7, and they're back on KGB, where they originated, where I've listened to them for 30 years.
What's KGB? Is it a rock station? Or?
Yeah, 101.5 KGB. It's a great classic rock radio station here in San Diego. And their morning show for decades was the DSC show, and they're priceless. Anyway, I heard it this morning. 2 elderly men in Germany escaped their nursing home, right? And while they were gone, the manager of the nursing home was like, "Wait, where the fuck are these guys?"
Yeah, they got super concerned. They have to account for them.
Yeah. So finally, I think it was like a day or 2 later, they found these 2 elderly men.
There's like a warrant out there for them.
Yeah, they found them at what's called the Wacken Open Air Festival, which is the world's largest heavy metal festival outside of Hamburg in Germany. I mean, the bands this year
How old are they?
You know what? It didn't give the age, but they said they were elderly, so I'm assuming 80 plus. But they were at this metal fest rocking out. When they were found, I think they were rocking out to Judas Priest at the time.
So they found them at the concert?
Yeah, they found him at the concert. They had to
They
talk
tracked
him
him
into
down.
leaving because they didn't want to leave. They were like so stoked
Probably
to be
having a
there.
heart attack out there.
Yeah, I just thought that was the coolest
That's
thing.
like a little road trip again. They probably had a Euro trip on the way down there and probably had some crazy good time, rock and roll times.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't.
Maybe
I'm
they
sure
got
they
some
didn't pass
ladies
up on
and-
any dubes going by. You know what I mean? Like puff,
And
puff, give. Like yeah.
So what's this called? The World?
It's called the Wacken Open Air Festival, and it's right near Hamburg in Germany. And like this year, some of the headliners were like Danzig, Judas Priest, Hatebreed, Cannibal Corpse.
I don't know those people. Are they amazing?
Yeah, they're all big
you like-
time
you
metal
like 'em.
bands. I like most of those. Yeah,
You could bang
I
your
mean
hand-
Danzig and Priest for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That's no big. That's
But
no.
that's
That's
to
a
me
no-brainer.
that's not really metal. But some of those people get hardcore.
Well, it's metal. I mean,
yeah.
shit. My very first tattoo when I was 18 is the Danzig logo. Yeah, dude, check it out.
You you love dancing. Dancing's your boy.
Danzig,
Sorry,
not Danzig.
But he.
It's not an adjective.
It's dancing.
Make it sound like it's a thing you're doing. Oh, what were you doing last night? I was dancing. I was dancing around the house.
That was dancing. But he was the lead singer of the Misfits, right?
He was. And then he was
That's
the
why
singer
you're gonna
of
love
Sam
this.
Hain. And
You're gonna love my buddies from because they're buddies with Doyle. They're very close to Doyle.
Jerry Doyle.
Yeah,
Nice.
so that's who you could probably get to meet through my past cover band, my lead guitarist. He owns Rock and Roll Industry magazines, and they've been following their metal scene. So you're gonna like them. They're gonna.
You know, it's funny. Speaking
Yeah.
of Danzig, my buddy sent me a text today, and he said, if you or anyone else ever gets married again, you have to hire this guy with a link. And it was John Christ, who is the guitar player for Danzig. I think his real name is John Knoll or something, but he's got a website where he'll play private parties, including weddings. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
He
If
doesn't
I
mess
ever
around.
if I ever have a wedding, because Carrie and I we didn't have a proper wedding. We'd just been together forever, so we're just married.
You're
but,
married, yeah.
But if we ever had a
You would do that?
ceremony, oh my god, if I could hire this guy.
I thought you would have the
kidding me?
old wedding singer, Adam Sandler, there. That's what.
No, the guy. Well, no, I would rather have that redheaded guy that was in a lot of those other movies. What the hell movie was that? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, I thought it was funny that these two elderly guys, because it kind of,
Yeah.
you know what it is?
That's
It's
gonna
kinda
be
like,
us.
It's you. Thank you. I was
Yeah,
thinking,
still
that's
trying
me
to
and
go
fucking
at it.
AO. Like, let's get the fuck out of here, dude. There's a metal show like 20 minutes away, and we'll get in there and
We'll
we'll
make it
party
happen,
and
like,
drink
still-
and smoke weed and boom, and they got busted.
And they're trying to take the fun away from us.
Yeah, in the article I read, it said they had to like talk him into coming back, or not talk him into it, but explain to him why they had to come back. And I guess they're like, oh, okay.
What did the radio shows say? They just kind of.
They vaguely touched on it. I followed up on it more,
Yeah.
Online and stuff.
No, that
And, I
sounds
thought it
like
was
guys that want to have fun forever, that are not forgetting, their mind's still there. If you're going to take a trip, like I picture, like when you take a lot of trips, like you said, you have all these super nice bags and luggage. So you're going to you just got back from Denver, right?
Yeah, I was in Denver for that Weezer show, but we travel a lot. We go to concerts and shit all over. We're travelers, and I think that traveling is one of the most. I mean, to get the most vitality out of life, like I think you should travel. Especially the U.S. Like I'm a U.S. traveler. Like I've been to Europe and I've been all over, but I really have the most fun traveling major U.S. cities I haven't been to.
do it too.
Yeah, I am lucky. I have a
Someone you
wonderful
like to
lady who
spend
loves
time
to travel,
yeah.
and our daughter likes to travel too. And as long as we tie a concert into it, of course. But we travel a lot. Like every month, we're gone at least once or twice a month.
Nice.
At least. Even if it's a weekender trip, that's, I guess that's my point is like everyone can afford to get out of town for a couple days. You know what I mean? If you're working and you make a little bit of money, like it doesn't, you'd be
That's where it
surprised
should
how-
be invested at.
Exactly. Like you'd be surprised how much little money it costs to just travel in the U.S. You know what I mean? Like it's
Because
really
of
cool
your
to
weekend
see.
here, you would spend just as much money doing whatever.
Yeah, if you go to, like we go to eat a lot and shit, so the money we spend when we go and do stuff, man, we roll that into trips across the U.S. and we have a good time. So that's just my food for thought.
So, good job, old man. Rock on.
Thank you. Speaking of old man, let's get into well, not so much dirty old man, but I also saw a story where this guy in Cerritos, California, was
That's not too far from San Diego. That's in like LA
Cerritos
area.
is LA, yeah. This fucking weirdo was cruising around in Targets with his cell phone and like crawling down and sticking his cell phone camera up teenage girl skirts and taking photos.
I heard this hit the news, and it's interesting that.
So here's the thing: when I watch
Because we were
the news
bartenders
feed,
and we saw perverts
I
all the
saw
time.
dudes pulling shit all the
Yeah.
time. But what when I saw the story, it was like dad attacks guy who is taking a cell phone picture of his daughter's skirt. So I watched a video, and the dude didn't really do shit. He just kind of slapped the phone out of his hand and kicked his phone, and then the dude bent down and they struggled a little. He grabbed his phone and he bounced. I'm like, what the fuck? And the guy ran out after him and took a picture of him in his car.
Yeah.
The guy got arrested, thank God.
Nice.
But I'm just thinking,
How would you react?
I have a
Yeah.
16-year-old daughter. If I saw a dude bending down underneath my daughter and trying to take a picture, the last thing I'm going to do is slap the phone out of his hand. I'm going to slap the teeth out of his fucking mouth.
Jeez Louise, the teeth.
Yeah,
How
the
do you
teeth,
how do you snatch
and then
that?
everything else.
Yeah.
With my fist. And I'm going to fucking pound the living shit out of him until he's
Dang.
not fucking talking anymore. Like, any dad out there who's listening to me right now,
They
know
understand.
damn well.
I don't have any kids. But
There's
I
no
could,
way if somebody fucking violated your daughter like that,
Oh,
you
I
would not
imagine,
do the
yeah.
same thing.
No, I know.
And then there the interview with this guy was like, oh, he was just lucky I didn't do anything else. It's like, bitch, if you were going to do something, you should have done it then. Like the fact, I mean, kudos, you got the guy arrested, but still, like, dude, you should have throttled the fucking guy. Like, are you kidding me?
I know, but you're gonna get busted.
Busted for what?
You think you're an all?
He was on Target surveillance camera doing it. Like, everything was documented.
Yeah, yes.
And I don't give a fuck if someone's documenting it or not. If I see it, I'm going to kick the everlasting shit out of you if you ever even if I don't kill you, if you even try that shit on my kid. That's ridiculous. You see these stories across the U.S. where dads walk in on someone molesting their child and like either beating them to death or murdering them. And these guys walk because, you know what? They should fucking walk. Sometimes it gets a little weird. I know there's some stories where some guys like, have some involuntary manslaughter, which is bullshit because any parent on a jury panel would know, like, fuck that. That guy needs to fry, or that guy deserved to die, and that dad
people
needs
gotta
to
respect. And this is cool that you bring that up because on this show, Too Much to Handle, we don't like that stuff, and we're respectful. I mean, we might have some opinions, but I think the core value and see different perspectives, but we know what's right, and we're
definitely a core family value show for sure. Like, we may have different opinions on, or funny opinions on dating and women in general, but
Dang,
family first, bro. Like, fuck that. Like,
don't judge me, ladies, for me dating out there too.
It just kind of irked me that the guy didn't do shit really, and then had the nerve to go, oh well, and then ruffle his feathers afterwards. Like, well, he better know he messed with the wrong family. It's like, well, if he messed with the wrong family, then the video should have showed you beating the shit out of this guy and not kicking his cell phone across the floor like a fucking soccer player.
You told me a story about how you kick someone's ass for it. I know you don't fuck around.
No, I don't fuck around, but that's for another day. So I don't want to get hung up on this because I'm going to get all pissed off and I don't want to think about it. But speaking of shit that's pissing me off is, can you believe for a second that not only did Conor McGregor get off on all those fucked up charges, he got them all dropped to misdemeanor, but now they've already announced a fight between him and Khabib?
The largest fight in the world coming up. That's what's kind of got everything, a lot of the hype going on right now. It's big. There's some big fights. It's
going
crazy.
to be a big one.
People have kind of been talking crap about the UFC, how it's There's too many stars and it has to appease this. But there's some good fights coming up, and there were some good fights this past week. And
Well, I think I was at the Cormier Stipe fight.
isn't that cool? That was cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
He was there a couple weeks ago, and one of our buddies that he's going to be on the show is going to talk about his experience and how Billy
Absolutely.
went there.
The one thing that was it's kind of corny to me for those of you who saw it when Cormier called out Lesnar and called him onto the stage. Like, ironically, he was right there next to the stage, or not the stage, the ring.
I think it was a smart
And
move.
ironically, he was there to walk into the octagon and then talk shit and have a shoving match. It's very WWE. I mean, do you not think that?
I think everything evolves. If it's not going one way, it's going the other way. And it's right now in a state of WWE exposure because Brock Lesnar is WWE champion. How is he not going to bring that persona? It's not like he just switched it off.
And I understand that, but
So it's like,
I just think...
And he's a badass in real life. It's fucking him. He's a big fucker, and he really pushed.
Yeah, but he's got his ass kicked by everybody too. Like, let's not fool each other.
But look how much bigger.
I think Cormier would fuck him up in a fight. Honestly.
I think it would be cool to see that. It would be cool to see a smaller guy take a bigger guy.
Well, everyone he's fought's been smaller than him. Are you kidding me?
Daniel's a shit.
But I don't know. I guess I just think the build up is getting a little corny. It's like, come on, Dana White. Like, you got enough marketing there. You don't need to corn it up with fucking calling Lesnar on the stage and having a shoving match.
What do you think's going to happen right now with Connor and Khabib? That's going to be even more.
You know what's going to piss me off? Yeah.
Well,
Connor's the king of that, king of marketing. I'll give him that.
It's going to be the number one pay-per-view. It's going to.
You think it's going to be bigger than him and Mayweather?
No, but it's going to be in that realm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
because of the payback, and they're going. Trust me, they just announced it. We're going to see commercials that are just out of control. They're going to build up the hype. They're going to keep showing Connor fucking smashing that dolly into the bus.
Yes.
And show all that shit. They're going to hype it up. Now, I hope Khabib kicks the shit out of him because he doesn't even deserve to have that fight, in my opinion. What do you think?
I've heard two perspectives on the way they're going to fight, and we can't underestimate Conor McGregor on his ability with. I think he can withstand the grappling, and that's what one guy specializes in.
Yeah,
what I understand.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be. I hope it goes all the rounds, and I hope there's someone gets knocked down each round. I hope it's just amazing.
Well, the last fight that Conor had where he fought a grappler was Diaz, and he got fucked up pretty good in both fights.
And he's got to be better now than he ever was, just like he was never a boxer.
Fought, though.
I bet he's been practicing. He's practicing hard.
Yeah, but training is one thing. Actually fighting, man.
I heard his jiu-jitsu partner, Dylan, just recently, actually today, and he is the best in that. He's one of the top, probably 10 ever, they say. And he's giving the assessment like Conor is in the realm. He's better than what's in the UFC right now. So.
Really?
Yes. So I think he can hang with the...
Better than what? Better in
grappling, jiu-jitsu.
No way. Conor's never been a strong grappler.
That's what he's saying. And this is a jiu-jitsu master. So I'm excited about the fight. It's going to be big. It's not too far away. I think it's in October.
It's
in
Vegas. Yeah.
Hopefully we might have...
I don't think I'll get a seat for that one. That'll be sold out in a half a second. But... yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. I can't wait to see it, or if we get an opportunity, like if you and I get an invite, like we got to go to that one. You know what I mean?
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
This is another thing we got to check out. I heard there's this podcast thing called The Nerdist down in San Diego that they promote podcasts. So we need to go check out other things and get in the community of podcasts.
Okay, I'll put that on my checklist of things to not really put a big emphasis on right now because I'd rather just focus on ours. But thank you.
Well, no, I'm thinking exposure.
Speaking of exposure, what do you think about LeBron going to LA?
Exposure. That's what I think. I think he's a man. I think he's was he 33 or 34 still? That's a good age.
Yeah, he's right around there.
he has a lot
Do you
of
think
platinum.
that cast that they put around him so far is enough to challenge
It's a dirty
in the
crew.
West?
It's a dirty crew.
Lance Stevenson, JaVale,
I think that's going to be
number
fun.
one Shaqtin' a Fool idiot McGee. Like, I mean, Rajon Rondo.
Oh, that Shaq talks shit on him, huh?
Oh,
Oh, my.
He doesn't have to. He does so many bonehead moves. Did you not see him in the finals this year when he missed a dunk when he's standing alone under the rim? He's fucking 7 feet tall, and he clanked a dunk against the side of the rim. He is a bonehead.
So you dogging on my Lakers right now?
Dude, I'm going to dog on your Lakers forever.
I'm excited about the lineup. I hope Kuzma, he's a good kid. I hope he's...
You know who I think's got talent on that team is Brandon Ingram. I think if he puts a meat on his
Yeah.
bones, he would be dangerous.
So how do you know about that kid? You been watching my boy?
Well, I live in San Diego. Of course, I'd see what's going on with the Lakers.
They played Lakers down. When I was living down here, they weren't playing the Lakers. They play Lakers down here now.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't see him on KTLA, I'll see him on NBA channel if they're playing somebody.
Yeah.
But you know they're on ESPN. It's still the Lakers. They're still going to be on TV.
Well, I was chatting with Kobe, and I think we're happy about it. And I think we'll probably celebrate a steak dinner with Magic soon. Me and Kobe. Yeah.
And discuss LeBron. In LA. Yeah.
About how he can probably join us for a steak soon too.
Okay, that's interesting.
So we're gonna have a good year.
Like
Yeah, I work one of my manufacturers, the Deco LED. I'm gonna take you. That's one of the things I'm gonna make sure we get a one game right off the bat. We're gonna go to a Laker game.
I actually have been to several Laker games. I actually was a Clipper fan for a long time.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
And I've been to a lot of games. And you know, it's funny back in the day, like back in the late '90s, early 2000s, my buddy Rocco and I would go to Clipper games, and it'd be like $1.50, $1.75 for like courtside seats. We would sit next to Penny Marshall and root on the Clips, and it was awesome. Now, or not now, but like
Staples Center is
then they
beautiful.
got Blake Griffin and they got Chris Paul. You know, throughout that.
Yeah, they became as big as
Then
they
it was-
became as
that,
big as the
that
Lakers.
same ticket was almost as much as the Laker ticket.
Yeah, I went to a game last year that was pretty cool, and I was like, damn, these Clippers got it going on. And they're building so much down in L.A. L.A. downtown is just...
I don't know if you heard, but they announced the Christmas Day schedule for the NBA this year. So they're going to go vintage with a dose of Celtics Sixers, and then finally my boys, the Bucks, with Giannis, are going to be at MSG to face the Knicks. And then followed by LeBron's Lakers are going to be in Oakland to face the Dubs. Those are the games on Christmas Day. That's a pretty cool lineup.
Yeah, the Lakers are back on Christmas. I think they weren't in there the last couple years.
No, because they haven't had anything to,
But I am blown away. No, jokes aside, what have you, I am blown away that they were able to sign. I didn't think they would sign him. I just didn't think he would come to L.A. I thought...
I knew they were going to once I heard through the grapevine that he had moved to L.A. and put his kids in L.A. schools. I knew it was happening.
Isn't that crazy that it's like...
You can't deny that. I mean, you and I have inside track at a lot of things that roll from San Diego to LA.
Yeah.
So when I hear from people that, that are in Hollywood that are like, yep, LeBron moved right there. His kids are going to this high school in LA. Well, no shit.
Yeah,
he's coming to LA.
They just today announced which high school or college that he's going to be playing for. I guess his son's really good, just like his father.
His son's sick, actually.
Yeah, they call him
what
LeBron
college is he
2.0.
going? Well, his
That's a
name
high
is
school.
Bronny.
Yeah, LeBron 2.0.
What college is he going to?
I think it's high school. He accepted a high school. I don't know exactly. It's in LA.
I thought he was in. Oh, he's not already in high school?
No,
Oh, is he still?
some private school of some sort.
Oh, well, that would make sense. Did you hear that, like, the games now for his son, there's, like, thousands of people go just in the event that LeBron shows up to the game because he's been to his games earlier this year?
Yeah, I've seen that.
There's
too.
been riots
Yeah, they
at
had
these
to close
games in
the
LA.
game
They had
down,
to
yeah.
shut games down because people and paparazzi there waiting for LeBron to show up.
You know what's crazy about that? They used to do that when he used to play high school ball. They didn't do it for LeBron's dad. They did it for LeBron now and before and then. Before when he was a young kid, and now they're still doing it. It's crazy.
That's just
His son's
out of
not,
control.
and his son's not. Would his son get that type of recognition without his
I
father?
think he will. His son, like I've watched some film of his kid play, and
Badass.
the fucking kid can play. Like, I don't know what grade he is. I mean, what grade's he in? He's got to be at least what, 8th or ninth grade?
If it's, I think
Something
high
like
school,
that?
yeah.
Is he high school yet, or is he
Yeah, I think
still
he accepted
like
high
middle
school.
school?
I think high school.
He is high school now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid can play. So
I'm excited about Legos. Basketball coming up because what season are we? Are we just in baseball right now?
well, we got baseball, but most importantly, we've got football coming up.
Yeah, not too far.
So I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
do you play fantasy or FanDuel? I played FanDuel last year. I have yet to play fantasy football ever, folks. Never done
Wow,
fantasy.
Good.
Because I've always been against it because I'm a purist. I love the game. I love my team, and that's it.
I don't know what FanDuel is, and I don't know what that
can't
means.
have fantasy where I'm pulling for players from other teams when I don't like the team. You know what I'm
Good.
saying?
Yeah, I don't like that either, and it makes you choose your own team, fantasy over. Yeah.
However, a couple good friends of mine today are trying to talk me into playing fantasy for the first time. Now, I will say, I'll explain the difference because I've played FanDuel the last 2 years. And the cool thing with FanDuel is you get the way the administrator of the league, you know, my buddy set it up, you get a certain amount of money and you pick a roster every week. Now, that became tedious
That
because you
sounds-
have to balance your budget and pick a new player every week. But everyone could pick similar players. So I understand how fantasy works is it's a draft and you get a guy, another guy doesn't get him, you have to draft him.
That's your guy.
Yeah, it's your guy. So, and then you just roll with it all year. So I can understand the freedom of not having to worry about, draft another lineup every week. I get that. But, there's always pros and cons to both because,
You want to choose your favorite player.
it was cool to be able to choose not only your favorite player, but with FanDuel, you could choose, similar lineups.
Sounds pretty biased.
And then there was a couple little pieces of a puzzle that everyone would have that would put you over the top and be a winner each week.
I think you should play the other one just so you can know the difference. That just for the sheer fact. Of
Well, that's why I'm considering doing the fantasy this year. My wife's been playing fantasy for 2 or 3 years now. She's in
she
an all-girl
does?
league,
Damn.
and I do the draft with her. They do it over the
so
phone.
you know.
So I kind of get it.
You got a hardcore girl, man. That's cool.
She's down. Oh yeah, she's down. She's a diehard Packer fan. She's good at the draft. Like
That's
I
gotta
sit
be
with her.
funny.
and do it.
I haven't. I've never met a all girls fantasy.
Oh yeah, they
football
got 8 chicks and God, I'm trying to think of the name of their team. It's really crass. Like they're all just
on top of it. Yeah.
just vulgar names for all their teams.
But
like
when people have parties, I mean, they go all in for the draft. So
Yeah.
I gotta imagine they're doing little.
Yeah,
They're
so-
probably making the best foods for that.
I don't know.
You jealous?
Well, not jealous. I mean, no, they don't do a draft party. They do
No,
it
they need
online. Everyone's at home. But like my buddies were telling me today, like now we'll do a draft party.
they do
We'll have part of the entry fee. We'll go into covering the catering of the food and the drink and shit, and then everyone does the draft. And
Sounds
blah,
like they know how to do it right.
blah. They've been in it before, and I've heard a lot of shit about other ones. So anyway, we'll touch more base on that as football season comes closer. We're not even at preseason games yet, so we won't worry about that. So anyway, I think we're about at the end of the rope for our, again, #1 syndicated show. I've had a great time.
Yeah,
Ayo,
this
what do you
was
think?
fun. And no, and I like what we're doing because we talked about doing different things. I think one show we talked about ending it off with some type of shame of something or what have you.
We'll get into that. I mean, I've got some
Ideas, what have you.
ideas.
But,
Most importantly, I just want everyone to know we've got some really good guests that are going to they're going to blow you away with some of their insight, some of the shit they've seen, behind the scenes with a lot of really big rock bands and on sets of movies and with top name UFC fighters.
Yeah, I'd like to talk next week a little bit more about maybe getting into some music about what we like and
Oh yeah,
bands that we follow.
we'll touch on all that stuff.
And then hopefully we get to go see some Weezer this weekend and rock on.
I actually just got an email from my wife, and you're in, buddy.
Oh, schnapples.
So
So,
we're gonna-
you
we're
said
gonna
box seats, Weezer. I'm going to experience
Yeah.
some Weezer.
We're gonna go see Weezer at Mattress Firm this weekend on the 11th, and you're gonna see the
I want to see why. I want to see why you think they're so great.
Well, you're going to see at least why they're so much better than 311.
No way, Jose. The best live band. But someone told me about Weezer besides you that just said that. No, I think it was you that said they're awesome.
Oh, I'm sure more than one person told you they were awesome. You don't have to worry about that.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, let's. It's August. Until next week, it's first week of August. Is this our first week or second week?
This is technically the first week of August. It is the 7th, and we will see you guys back in 1 week. Stay tuned, and
Peace, love, and peace.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Take
All right.
care.
We'll send it off.